Hi everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony and I want to talk about Martell Holt from Love and Marriage Huntsville, in my opinion, using Melody's trauma from their relationship, their former marriage, against her and now deleted Instagram post. We're also going to take a look at the video of an interview between Melody and Dr. Heavenly that Martell thinks is making a point. And then I'm going to talk about, survivors of DV. They definitely try to cover for their attackers, just in my opinion. So before we get into it all, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on this clip is allowed. Okay, so while I was working, I noticed Martell's Instagram post, and something told me, he may delete them. So I better go ahead and grab these screenshots. And, later on in the evening, I will give my commentary. So Martell wrote, "I never punched you. You continue to lie. If you need to get back on Love and Marriage Huntsville, just say that. Missing these checks while taking care of your married boyfriend slash security and his wife." So Martell is referring to a TikTok live that Melody Cherie has done recently, where she talked about some of the DV that she experienced. Even some was filmed for the show, season 4, during their trip to Las Vegas, where allegedly Martell threw pillows at Melody, but those scenes did not air. So then he is denying that he ever put his hands on Melody, and he would love it. He would love to think that Melody needs the money from Love and Marriage Huntsville. While I'm pretty sure she definitely made 6 figures at least from the show, she has other successful businesses. She has multiple streams of income. So that doesn't really totally or at all knock her off her square, because she has her property preservation courses. She has her 7th Avenue Beauty skincare line, and it's also a lifestyle line at this point. She's also a public speaker, so she has lots of opportunity to earn money. But Martell has to say these things to himself, I guess, to keep himself afloat and to not go totally over the edge. He then writes, "The person who has always been the abuser is no longer on my show, hashtag LAMH." So the arrogance is just, it's just spilling out like a volcano. He's calling it his show. Now, I know that you may have been involved with sending off the treatment and meeting with Carlos King, because at that time you and Melody were married. But Martell, you said during one of the reunions on Love and Marriage Huntsville years ago that Melody said to you that she wanted to be on television. That was a goal of hers. And so she, started brainstorming about a reality TV show that fit the two of you's business that you owned together at the time. So it'll never be just your show, okay? But I do find that a little humorous that you would say that. And I just don't really think that he went back and he screenshot scenes from a reunion and then he captioned it and then he hashtag LAMH. This is totally giving a woman has typed this up for him. And then he wrote, "I don't care what a person says to you. You never put your hands on them nor cause them harm. Black people, stop supporting women abusing men. Stop supporting her business. It supports DV." And so that is far from the truth, Martell. And of course, he did a very poor job. It's very bad resolution. It's a little blurry of him capturing the scene where they were over at the Fletcher's house sitting on their lanai. And he was saying how the mistress was satisfying him and he triggered Melody and she threw the glass. So, Martell, I just want to tell you something. Melody Cherie Rogers is what you call a human being. And humans have different sorts of emotions. We're also created by God. If you believe in Him, if you believe in a higher power, human beings are created by God. We didn't just make ourselves. And He built us with emotions like happiness, sadness, and anger. Okay. And because she's human and because she's not that higher power, sometimes you get a little angry, especially when your husband and the father of your children totally threw the vows out the window, disrespected the marriage, broke your heart, betrayed your trust, cheated on you. And then you have the nerve to say, well, you cheated because you weren't being satisfied. But y'all got 1, 2, 3, 4 kids. The first two ain't even a full year apart. I think it's safe to say that you and Melody were doing the do and doing it a lot. She seemed to have stayed pregnant in her 20s. But in any event, I have to say, if you trigger someone and you are disrespecting them, you cannot control how they respond. You cannot try and put parameters on how they respond when they get sick of the disrespect over and over, when they get sick of the bullying, when they get sick of the gaslighting. You can't control how they respond. But I think that this is cute. This is definitely red pill. It's definitely giving red pill sector. It's definitely giving Ralph Pittman. I think, Martell, when you were on The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 15, Fake Dating Sheree, I think that you should go back to Roa, but just film scenes with Ralph Pittman, Drew Sidora's hopefully soon to be ex-husband. And while y'all are at it, y'all can call up Kelly Farrell's ex-husband because he's busy doing press conferences. Y'all can film scenes with him as well because y'all all got the same energy, every last one of you. So there is more. So let's go ahead and move on. We're going to play that clip between Melody and Dr. Heavenly because I just want to make the point about, if you've been attacked by someone, you may, especially they have control over your mind, you may cover for them. And Melody actually made a post on her Instagram that speaks to that. But first, let's get into this last post he took. He screenshot from someone. It looks like they were in one of those Facebook groups. And so I want to make sure that you all can see it. Okay, perfect. I have it pulled up so I can see it better. But someone wrote, the fact that Carlos thought it was so funny and okay for Mel to throw a glass at Martell that could have injured him, the Fletchers, or a member of his team is disgusting. He even skated over the fact that Mel said she beat Martell's butt. Like Martell said, had that been a man, all hell would have broken loose. But since it is Mel, she gets a pass. And it is a laughing matter. Yet she is out here selling hoodies saying she stands against abuse while saying and showing she is abusive. Then Carlos using it to promote his live podcast show, disgusting. Make it make sense. And so, everyone has their opinion. Clearly, there are people who do not see it for Melody Cherie. We know that there's a whole subsector, unfortunately, devoted to like dogging her out every single chance that they get. But again, Melody is human. And so she is going to react and get angry at someone, the father of her children, who is saying that she wasn't satisfying him, and they have 4 kids. And then at the bottom of the post, it says, the abuser is no longer on the show. She's been using Martell Holt to promote her business through lies of abuse and DV. It's sad. And then there's more, but the where you can reply, that part is blurring that out. And I'll never understand if those commenters were women, I'll never understand that energy of like making excuses for men. I feel like men do a fabulous job at backing each other up, regardless if there's an age gap amongst the men, regardless of their orientation, if the orientations differ. If they're all men, they're going to back each other up each and every time. You could even be talking to a brother who is very conscious and very vibrates on a high level. He could be a dad, an awesome dad, mature. But when it comes to accusations involving a man and a woman, they will like kind of still side with the man. They won't be so red pillish. They won't be so ignorant, so insulting. But I'm like, yeah, you guys all stick together. Women, not so much. Not so much. Even so much that people were saying that during the Diddy trial, that some defense attorneys, they like a jury full of women. They like a jury full of, black women because they know that not all women are going to support the alleged victim. So that is too bad. I did hear that on another channel when I was watching coverage for the Diddy trial as a subscriber myself. So then Melody posted today, like I said, ain't no more covering. You're gonna leave me alone. And she posted a thread where she messaged Martell, I'm getting my kids today, and they will be with me this week. I'm not taking them to a party. I did agree at one time, but you got slick with your mouth yet again. I told you no, you take them. The way both you and your mama are trying me today with y'all slick words and trying to mentally manipulate is really horrible. Don't punch a woman ever. But trying to make me feel bad for walking the hell out the door, keep that. And Martell wrote back, what? Probably because you've been leaving for 11 years. I'm sorry for that punch. Like I said, keep that. Keep the attempt to paint me as a horrible person and mother. No more. You have no more right here over my mind. Stay away from me and leave me the hell alone. So let me just say that definitely when you let a person know, look, I did not like when you did X, Y, and Z, they answer back with what? Almost plain stupid, like they do not know what you are talking about. That's definitely been done to me more than once. It's still, like done to this present day. But if there is some sort of communication or texting back and forth, it's almost like there was never any traumatizing because I guess, who would want to admit to being a bullying asshole? I guess I kind of get it. But then he says, you've been leaving for 11 years. So he thinks that that's a read. Let me just say, like, these men, they're coming for women. And it's so, like, the stereotype is that women are catty, women gossip, and women do all of these like can't let go type of things, but it's the men. I haven't made a video about Kelly Farrell's husband. You may have watched his interview with Tasha K, but then after the interview, he did like this like press conference. It's all over the blogs, child. And I watched 4 clips and I'm like, I cannot believe I watched this. It's so like, dude, move on. I think it was one thing to get divorced, to get dumped, but then to see your wife on a large platform like the Real Housewives of Atlanta, they just can't take it in their minds, like she's really moved on and she won and she's doing something really big and they just have to be humiliating. They have to attach themselves somehow. They're definitely hoping to get a reaction. And Martell has the same exact energy. When I was reading his response, it reminded me of those 4 clips that I watched. He may think that he's reading Melody by saying you were leaving for 11 years. Well, Martell, it's called being in a marriage. It's called trying to figure out if you can forgive the cheater and still move on so that your kids grow up in the 2-parent household. It's called being in love. So you thinking that you're reading her because she stayed with you for 11 years. At least she didn't just walk out the door right away at the very first sign of you effing up. She could have, and that would have been fine as well. But she did try to work it out. She definitely gets way more than points for that. So I just, oh my gosh, like when I do stories like this, and Martell and Ralph Pittman and Kelly Farrell's husband, it makes me so thankful that I'm single with no children, because there's absolutely no tie to these BANs. Never in my life will there be. So for that, it makes me thankful. But I do want to show you all, I'm going to show you all the clip, and then we'll go to, I found a website that talks about how, if someone has control over your mind, if they're manipulating you, you will straight up make excuses. But first, let's go to the neighborhood talk. I have it pulled up. I'm just sharing my screen. Please do me a solid and hit the like button. It stimulates the video, causes YouTube to recommend it to more people. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so now you all see the neighborhood talk. Okay, so I'm going to mute my mic so that there is no echo, and then I'll come back with my commentary. Just one moment.
Here, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. Was Martell ever physically abusive?
No, I mean, me and Martell, I will say this, Martell and I had our moments like some people probably do, but I'm not one of those women who ever gonna just be, I personally am not one of those women who, I'm kind of let me see how I can say it. I'm kind of strong in the sense of I'm not one who would sit around and be abused physically.
It look like you the type, and I'm a Scorpio too. You probably would be doing the abusing. Like you look like you'll slap the shit out of somebody. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking.
Thank you for that. Thank you for saying that without me having to say that.
You look like, okay, on here, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
How toxic it was in that house?
Hold on.
Oh yes, it was. Like yes, it was. Stop. That's why I beat your ass that time.
Stop.
Oh no, Jesus Christ.
All right, so we'll be right back with more Love and Marriage.
See how toxic it was? I'm tired of hearing you saying that. Know that. I'm tired of hearing you saying that. What about the time when you punched me? What about that part? My address got released to the public by way of my children's father. So then I had to do a.
Okay, so you all saw those clips. I've already spoken on the scene at the Fletcher's home. She's human. You're constantly saying how the mistress is satisfying you. When you all have these 4 children who are super duper close in age, y'all were over there fucking Martell. Okay, stop it. And, they showed the reunion clip. She said it was a toxic household. And I definitely think she was defending herself. That's just in my opinion. I was not there, but based off of what I've seen from the show, the Las Vegas trip, that's just my opinion. Shout out to Jay Lee's Corner. I love her YouTube channel. She writes, she was clearly covering for him and didn't want to speak on the abuse like most DV victims do. We don't feel safe yet, so we deflect away from the truth. But anyone with eyes could see that Martell is aggressive. Someone else wrote, she probably was trying to save face. Bingo, ding, 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 ding. Especially in the Black race, it's all about being a strong Black woman. There's all this pressure in our race for the Black woman, definitely work full time. A lot of times she's a single mom, work full time, come home, help the kids with the homework, cook the food, feed them, bathe them, put them to bed. She hasn't had a chance to work out, move her body. Maybe she'll say a prayer. She could be asking for a better paying job. Now she has to find the time to go to school after working full time. And it's not like in our community, we have a bunch of wealthy relatives and friends who are making at least 6 figures a year where they can help with either paying for your tuition or keeping the kids in the evening while you go to school. There's all these pressures for the Black woman to never complain and just say, wow, this ish is unfair, but you're supposed to wear all these different hats. Praise the Lord on Sunday like you don't have any sort of problems or nothing unfair is happening to you. Volunteer at the church too, by the way. And then things may happen at the crib that you got to get fixed, or the car, extra bills, and then find the money for that. And then go through it all over again. So there's all these pressures to be that strong Black woman. So who's going to really say, no, we have had DV in our relationship. He has put his hands on me. And Melody Cherie is so passionate about women's empowerment. I'm sure, like, I could totally see her having thoughts like she could not be 100% vulnerable because she wants to encourage other women. She said that on a live recently, in recent weeks. She said, I love encouraging other people. It was when she spoke at a conference. It's probably been like a month. I made a video about it because that conference created an Instagram page and posted, her speech. It was awesome. That is where she said that. I love encouraging women. So I'm pretty sure that she would hold back if something was happening because she doesn't want to look away. I remember when this was after Rihanna and Chris Brown, they had the altercation. Rihanna was interviewed by Diane Sawyer. And Rihanna, she was totally a victim because during the interview, she was like beating herself up for being like physically attacked and for being bloodied and bruised and hurting, and then the world knowing. And Diane was like trying to talk to her like, no, Rihanna, like, you're the victim. You were attacked. It's okay. And Rihanna was saying, no, like, everyone saw that I was weak and I couldn't defend myself. And, I have fans. Like, she was beating herself up over someone beating her up. I remember that because it was straight up, you were watching a victim, like in real time, her totally just not get it. So now I'm going to quickly show you all this website when I Google something. So here, let me share this. Okay, you all can see it. Perfect. And this is coming from domesticshelters.org. So I Googled, I said, is it normal for victims of DV, and I spelled that out, to make excuses for their attackers? And I found this article, 10 excuses domestic violence survivors tell themselves. Okay, and then when I scroll down just a few paragraphs, it says it's normal to want to make excuses for a person we care about. It's difficult to admit that we've been tricked into entering a cycle of abuse. It's even more difficult to say the words, I'm being abused, aloud. After all, didn't we say we'd leave if that person ever did that to us? So, and then it goes on to say the truth is many survivors have a hard time seeing their partner's behavior as abusive until the survivor is able to get out of the relationship and can look back with more clarity. I think this article is like awesome. And so I felt like it totally supports what I was thinking, what Jay Lee's Corner said, what the other person in the comments said she was probably trying to save face. I think that has a lot to do with it. And us Black women, we deserve, you don't have to always wear that same strong Black woman like it's a fur coat, because it ain't no fur coat. It don't look all chic like a fur coat. Sometimes that's nothing but pressure for you to not speak up about your trauma and know that you deserve more. But I thank you all so much for watching this video. Please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. I hope that you all had a thriving Thursday. I almost said a wonderful Wednesday. Tomorrow is already Friday. I am so thankful, okay? back to the weekend, back to where you can kick it. There is a scary movie that comes out this weekend. I think it comes out tonight. It's really, really scary. I saw the first two, and they're based on true stories. I don't even want to say the name, child, but I don't think I'm gonna go see it because it's just too much. It's just too much. But I will talk with you all soon. Bye.